Can you repeat the part of the stuff where you said all about the things?
Wait, 21 gigawatts! What the hell is a gigawatt?
Oh my.
Science with Professor Mike. Take it away, Mike. What's your topic for today?
Today I was thinking of talking about something that the majority of people use on a daily basis and actually have no knowledge about. And that topic is toothpaste. So basically the way that this happened was the other day somebody commented about how my teeth are really, really white. And they said, "What toothpaste do you use?" And I said, "I actually don't use toothpaste." And the girl was all startled. She said, "Why don't you use toothpaste?" And I said, "Have you read the labels of toothpaste?" And she said, "Well, no, it's toothpaste, right? Everybody uses toothpaste." So I basically held up a tube of toothpaste. This is at a store, right? And I showed her the labels. And on the label, it says, basically, that if you consume this, you have to call poison control immediately. So I wanted to get into that because a lot of people don't understand what the ingredients are that's in toothpaste. Hey, Super Don and Mike, do you guys use toothpaste?
Yeah, but I don't eat it.
Don't eat it?
I think everybody does to some degree. Now, I've heard what you're talking about where, you're not supposed to, quote, consume it. People wonder if the amount that you consume when you brush your teeth is something you need to worry about, and I think that's something maybe that you can address.
Yeah, and also, I also want to ask you guys, before I even address that, I want to ask you guys, why do people use toothpaste?
Because the American Dental Association said so.
What about you, Don? Why do you use toothpaste?
Because everybody else does.
Exactly.
Everybody's doing it.
So every time I ask people, what is it that actually does the cleaning? And people will say, well, I have to use a toothbrush with toothpaste. And I say, but what is cleaning your teeth? The actual thing that's doing the cleaning is the toothbrush. Because if the toothpaste was cleaning your teeth, then technically we can ditch the toothbrush and just, put toothpaste on our teeth and it should clean. So basically what people always say is if they know that toothpaste is harmful, they will say, well, I'm not having enough to actually create a harmful reaction. But sublingually, as in under our tongue, that's the area that we most absorb chemicals, okay? Or anything.
Yeah, it's a major absorption point, right?
Exactly. It's a major absorption point through the body. So we have blood capillaries that are very, very close to the surface of the skin, and it's almost like an injection. So, in toothpaste, we have a chemical called sodium lauryl sulfate, SLS, okay? And SLS is basically known as a surfactant, and it's used in garages to clean oil and gasoline spills off the floor.
And teeth.
Exactly, and that's the chemical that's actually associated with causing the foaminess of hand soaps, toothpaste, dish soaps. You know those bubbles? Well, that's created by sodium lauryl sulfate. It's an extremely cheap chemical to manufacture, and if you ask the CIA-run search engine, Mr. Google there, if you ask Google about harmful chemicals, you'll always see sodium lauryl sulfate on there. Sodium lauryl sulfate can be derived from natural sources like coconuts, okay, or it can be synthetically manufactured. And in medical tests, they actually use SLS in order to create dermatitis if they want to test out eczema medication and things like that. So they will use sodium lauryl sulfate to create irritation. Another major chemical that you have in there that's highly disputed is fluoride. And you'll almost always see fluoride as a big thing mentioned on the front of the toothpaste bottles. Now, fluoride in toothpaste was introduced in the 1970s. I believe it was 1973. And the way that this happened was there was basically the aluminum mining industry has always had connections with governments, okay? That's how they put fluoride in our water. So what happened was the aluminum mining industry wanted to get rid of more fluoride, and the dentists, well, this is behind the scenes stuff, they realized that there's something called dental fluorosis. Okay, now fluoride actually benefits dentists because fluoride destroys the enamel of your teeth, it discolors your teeth, it'll cause them to become crumbly and weak. So in this case, a dentist only makes money if your teeth are messed up. So dentists actually benefit from this. So they made the deal with the aluminum mining industry to put fluoride in toothpaste. And there's all kinds of studies that show how children are ultra sensitive to it. There's also, aside from just dental fluorosis, you have things like bone cancer, osteoporosis. You have brain disorders that are caused by fluoride. Okay, when fluoride gets ingested into the body, part of it gets uptaken into your bloodstream and goes to your brain, where it kind of dumbs you down. Okay, a lot of people don't know this, but the Nazis used to put fluoride in the water supplies for the people that they wanted to basically dumb down and make them subservient. That's why the videos of the Jews being shot, you never once see anybody standing up to the soldier and trying to disarm him. I mean, if you knew that you were going to die and you were all there in your head, you would go and try to kick the crap out of everybody. Yeah, you're going to die anyways, you might as well try. But they didn't. They just stood there and got shot.
I've actually heard that they used it in the Soviet Union and the gulags as well to make people docile and slightly stupid. And this isn't the first time that I've heard this, but it's interesting that you bring up the garage floor cleaner, the sodium lauryl sulfate. Because, toothpaste is really good for patching holes in the wall if you're going to paint as well. So, don't go throwing it out. But, so what would you use as an alternative? Baking soda and...
Yeah, you could put a little bit of baking soda and maybe a drop of tea tree oil on your toothbrush if you feel that you need to have some kind of an extra added abrasive. I always recommend to people to use a soft bristled toothbrush. You could also just buy a cheap electric toothbrush, like that Crest spin brush and stuff like that. That'll help. I recommend that you floss first, brush later, and rinse once a day with hydrogen peroxide. Not too many times a day, but rinse for 30 seconds, and that'll help the oxidation.
Science with Professor Mike is brought to you by Colgate. We'll be back after this.
Commercial time.